Can halitosis or bad breath originate from the sinus infection? Often referred to as halitosis, bad breath is associated with numerous problems, among them problems with the sinuses. Firstly, these types of anaerobic bacteria are not able to exist in the sinuses, even though the volatile sulfur compounds they produce can move into the sinus pathways. Whenever someone has a sinus infection, one among the typical signs and symptoms is extreme sinus headaches, a result of the pressure from the bacterial infection in the sinuses. In the event you don't have these types of strong headaches, you most likely don't have a sinus infection. The truth is, as soon as patient has a very high quantity of these types of anaerobic bacteria, they are going to produce the issue from any protein provider, such as mucus, phlegm, which empties down the back side of the throat into the region where these types of bacteria exist. On the other hand, if you do have sinus issues, excess mucus and postnasal drip, in that case this may be making your bad breath a whole lot worse. For the reason that the proteins in mucus function as a food supply for the harmful bacteria. Halitosis associated with your sinuses, or nasal pathways, frequently happens once the sinuses get clogged, based on remedy land. Associated symptoms can include a reduced capability to smell and taste, painful teeth and also jaws, coughing, trouble with inhaling and exhaling, stained discharge from the nasal area as well as in the throat, discomfort and sensitivity in the face region along with a painful throat. Bad breath along with this kind of symptoms frequently suggests the existence of infected nasal pathways, or sinusitis. Patients are more likely to establish continuing sinusitis and associated halitosis when they have atypical nasal sections, some conditions, for example gastroesophageal reflux, an autoimmune system disorder, for example cystic fibrosis, allergy to aspirin, or any form of health issue that impacts the sinuses, such as allergic reactions and high fever. Frequent contact with environment contaminants, for example smoke from tobacco products, may also raise the possibility of developing bad breath associated with sinus problems or sinusitis. Minimizing halitosis linked to the sinuses is dependent on dealing with the primary problem, specifically sinusitis. Reducing severe sinusitis normally requires using a doctor-prescribed or store-purchased decongestant, or even antibiotics in extreme situations. Relieving persistent sinusitis can include keeping away from common irritants and allergic reaction causes, making use of nasal drops or nasal sprays to control difficulties, and making use of a humidifier and also warm compresses to decrease discomfort and maintain air humid. For chronic sinusitis, we suggest consuming plenty of water, getting a lot of rest and raising your head while resting to encourage drain your sinuses and reduce congestion. Making use of mints and chewing gum is only going to mask the halitosis. If you wish to get rid bad breath from your mouth, you need to focus on the root. A lot of natural home remedies can be found to deal with and stop halitosis from sinus drainage. You may use a neti pot to appropriately drain, hydrate and rinse out the sinus cavity. Find a neti pot from a drugstore and put it to use a couple times each day to reduce postnasal drip. Blend 1 cup of heated drinking water with a half teaspoon of sea salt and blend until all of the salt is correctly dissolved. Put the blend into the neti pot. Position the neti pot on a nostril over a sink unit. Lean the head so the material of the neti pot empties into the nostril. Permit the saline blend to move totally all through the whole cavity and clear out of the other nostril. Blow the nose delicately and replicate the method on the reverse side. Milk products are among of the most awful meals and drinks to use when you're battling with halitosis, a result of sinus discharge. Milk products are going to motivate mucus generation throughout the human body. Avoid highly processed sugars, for example high fructose corn syrup, and also meals rich in sweets. Sugar can aggravate the sinus cavity and cause the human body to generate additional mucus. Certain grains, for example wheat or soy, are likewise wise to stay away from since they lead to mucus development. Gargling is among the most reliable methods to eliminate the bacteria development in the backside of the throat. Make use of grapefruit seed extract, blended with heated drinking water and sea salt to eliminate bacteria and contamination while calming any discomfort in the backside of the throat. Blend 1 cup of heated drinking water with a half teaspoon of sea salt and 4 drops of grapefruit seed extract. Blend properly to ensure that all the components are dissolved. Take in half of the fluid and rinse and gargle for 1 minute. Spit away the remedy after the end of the minute. Wait around 4 minutes after that, do it again.